21 years ago, I had the magnificent experience of becoming the mom to a beautiful daughter who was born with Down syndrome. And I have spent the last 21 years celebrating her exactly as she is.
Welcome to the Women Talk podcast, where ordinary women share their extraordinary stories. We would love for you to share your story on our podcast. Go to www.womentalk.ca and apply to share your story. And now, let's welcome your host, founder and CEO of Women Talk, Bridget Lessard-DL.
Loree Cowling is exactly what the world needs right now. Celebrating our uniqueness instead of looking for what makes us different. I just love how she sees the world. A fabulous mother with a fantastic daughter that is changing the world. Let's listen to Loree Cowling's story now.
I want to share with you today the story of how I became the co-founder of Uniqueness. 21 years ago, I had the magnificent experience of becoming the mom to a beautiful daughter who was born with Down syndrome. And I have spent the last 21 years celebrating her exactly as she is. And that didn't come naturally or easy, because when Sydney was born, everyone around me had a really different idea of what it meant to celebrate who you are in your own awareness and uniqueness. And to be different meant that you were going to experience really challenging things. So when Sydney was little, and from the time she was born, we were told that we would have to work really hard to fit Sydney into our world. We did OT and physical therapy and speech, and every single day, our focus, we were told, should be on changing Sydney so that she could fit into our world. And at the age of 3, she was diagnosed with leukemia, and that process changed everything about how I see the world. And it gave me the opportunity to see that Sydney sees the world in this beautiful, magnificent way. And when we build a curiosity about the world around us and the people around us, we get to become this place where we celebrate the beautiful diversity of everyone. So I took some time, and Sydney took some time, and as she grew and we went through life, we started to talk with her friends and the people around us. And what really compelled me to build Uniqueness with Sydney is one day we were at school, and her friends wanted to go around and talk with all of their other friends about what was unique about them, because they wanted to honor Sydney. And it was World Down Syndrome Day that year. And we thought, let's go out and celebrate uniqueness. And we found out that very few people could actually celebrate who they are without asking the friends around them what was good about them, what was beautiful about them, what was unique about them. And it triggered in me this response of every single person is afraid of their difference because we've made difference wrong. So we've started this beautiful campaign of Uniqueness and celebrating who you are. And right now we have this facet of our campaign called Sydney's Millions. And we're inviting 1 million people to celebrate and share who they are, in hopes that that will create a catalyst for conversation of an inclusion consciousness that allows everyone to celebrate their own unique qualities and personalities and the talents and experiences that are always a part of who we are, and to do this in connection with other people.
You're listening to the Women Talk podcast, where ordinary women share their extraordinary stories. And I am Bridget Lessard-DL, your host. A quick thank you to 2 of our sponsors that make this podcast possible. First, Seeger Consulting, removing the technology headache from your business. For more information on Seeger Consulting, go to seegerconsulting.com. And a big thank you to sportsbras.ca, where you get less bounds for your buck. For the perfect sports bra, go to sportsbras.ca. And now, back to the story. Powerful story, see uniqueness. I just love that phrase. I guess it's not really a phrase, but the hashtag.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
What we've discovered in that sense of it is powerful. And it's powerful because we forget to celebrate who we are. And when we look at other people, we find it easier to say, there's this unique thing about you, and it's so lovely. And then when we look in the mirror, we think, I'm so different, and I don't know how to fit in, and I don't know how to be a part of the conversation that's going on around me, or to really say, I see you. To say it to yourself in the mirror, to say it to another person is a powerful way to build connection.
Yeah, and to really celebrate what's different about other people instead of being afraid of it.
It's true. Difference was meant to be this place for all of us where we could go and learn new things, where we could experience different things in life, to allow other people to experience something that we might not like, but to go, wow, it's so cool. Look at what they do and look what I do. And there's so much opportunity in this world for all of us.
And I find it fascinating that it was your daughter with Down syndrome that kind of piqued your interest in that. I had a friend who lived with me who was Down syndrome, and they really do see the world differently. And, I don't see it as being better or worse. It's just different, and different is great.
It is great. And Sydney is an ideal catalyst for this conversation, because anyone that's met her, like you've met her, and she has this ability to see joy and happiness and see you perfect, exactly as you are. So she's a huge catalyst for the conversation of difference is magnificent.
Yeah. And it's funny, sometimes we don't understand that how powerful different can be. I know that Stacy, who lived with me with Down syndrome, at one point in time, she got a job painting surveyor sticks. She would dip the sticks in the paint, and she loved it. The same thing all day long. And it brought her such great joy. To somebody who maybe is not Down syndrome would be, after a week, kill me now. But, that's what really made me realize that they have such a crucial role in our world, because they bring something that other people don't have.
I love what you just said. I truly believe Sydney has a crucial role in this world. And I believe that people who walk in our world in such a strong, unique space. So whether that's like with Sydney, because it's a visual, she's visibly different. So it's a huge catalyst. There's so many people in our world that are walking in this strength and their uniqueness. And I do think they're the ones that we should be looking to in order to really step into those values and those things that we talk about within families and communities, strength and a sense of joy and a sense of connectedness and the value systems that we place highly in our world are actually fully active within our communities of individuals like Sydney.
And it's not necessarily mentally handicapped either. It's, as we all know, I'm gay. And for years, being different is difficult. Yeah. And to own it, you have to be brave. And for me, I was never really in the closet, but I wasn't out publicly because I didn't want to make other people uncomfortable. Because I was different, it made them uncomfortable. So therefore, I just blended in.
Right. Yeah, that space of not wanting to make other people uncomfortable. We're so taught that from the time we're little, that to be different will create isolation, abandonment, and punishment because we make different wrong. So then anyone who moves in the world really knowing that they're different understands that level of discomfort. And it would make sense that we wouldn't want to make other people uncomfortable, and we wouldn't want to experience those feelings of wrongness. It definitely impacted us as parents when we first were told the news that Sydney had Down syndrome and we weren't expecting it. Our natural place, my natural place, was, how do I protect her from feeling all of this pain that she might feel because the world thinks she's not the same?
Mm-hmm. Do you think Sydney, though, knows that she's different? Like,
Yes.
does she really understand?
Yes.
How do you know that?
The way that Sydney shows up in the world, she sees the space where she brings joy and light and laughter. And she knows that around her, people don't do that as a natural state of being. So she sees that difference for sure. She does experience those times and those moments where people around her are uncomfortable around her. And I can, we'll have conversations to the level that she can have them about what that feels like. And, someday she'll really display that sadness, that she can see other people in the beauty of who they are, but for some reason other people can't see her that way.
Yeah, and it's always amazed me how people are afraid of different, because I think that's really what it boils down to. Like, they're afraid of people being different than they are, because I'm not really sure why. What do you think that is?
Well, in our conversations about Uniqueness and, with different age groups and different people, what I've come to understand is that fear comes from a place within where at some point we have been punished or isolated or abandoned for being different. So then your natural instinct is to push away anybody who's different, because if you're standing beside that, you don't want to feel those things. So that's the place where we're really having these conversations about difference being a celebration, and really participating and expanding our conversations of inclusion consciousness.
Mm-hmm. And like I always say, you don't need to understand, you don't need to agree, but you do need to respect it.
Yes. It's such a beautiful state when you can be in conversation with somebody else to truly know them
And
and
truly be curious about
curious
what's
about them.
different about them.
Absolutely. It's one of the things I teach any of the people that work with See Uniqueness is, when you meet somebody, to say, it's nice to see you, and pause and really let other people know that I desire to see you and know you. And in that space of knowing another soul is where you truly get to know yourself.
And also ask questions about this. Like, I know people always get sometimes are comfortable about, how did you guys have children? And they're like, is it okay if I ask? They're always so afraid. And I always think, no, I love it. Like, you're wanting to understand and see the difference. You don't have to agree, but you just have to respect it, and respect it enough to ask questions.
Absolutely. The power of curiosity is one of the biggest tools for building connection. And I'm finding that when you're curious, it really paves the way for individuals and communities to be in that consciousness where we're celebrating the beauty and diversity of everyone. And it's the curiosity that brings that. When you're excited to know somebody, they're excited to know themselves. And you give them permission to celebrate who they are exactly as they are.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about See Uniqueness. What is that all about? The actual movement, or do you call it a movement, a company? What do you call See Uniqueness?
See, Uniqueness is building into this place that's encompassing all of that. So, See Uniqueness, I am running a business within that where I'm building programs to support individual awareness and community conversation and a global connection. But See Uniqueness is a movement. It's this movement where we're in the conversations of connection and celebration. And one of the biggest things that we're creating right now is Sydney's Million. And we have a YouTube video, and we're going to be starting adding more videos onto that, where we're inviting 1 million people to celebrate and share their uniqueness. And I want to share some really big news that I haven't, shared with too many people yet. And that is that Sydney has recently been nominated for a Women of Inspiration Award.
Ooh, that is fantastic.
It's so amazing, and it just fills my heart so much because she is in the conversations in so many different parts of our communities. She works at a local coffee shop where she totally participates in every activity and task that they do there. She is in the process of, she's going to be teaching a yoga class in the next little while with one of her instructors. She, along with myself and another person, have co-authored a book that's going to be coming out soon. And when she received the nomination, it took me a week to even read the whole email because it was so beautiful. The woman who nominated her recognized that the way Sydney communicates with the world does not have to come through words, that she communicates with the world by celebrating who she is and everyone around her. And it's powerful. It is powerful.
Extremely powerful. She's a fabulous little human being. And she loves to sing, doesn't she?
Oh my gosh. That's her joy place, is to be on stage. And, she doesn't always have the articulation to express what she wants to say. But when she sings along to these powerful, amazing songs like Pink's Perfect, there's a line in there where she's standing on the stage and she sings, "Change the voices in your head, make them like you instead."
Love it.
It's such an amazing catalyst for...
Now, does Sydney listen to the clean version?
Yes, she does. However, she is very much enjoying being a 21-year-old woman right now and having freedom of expression in language.
That's awesome. Now, does Sydney date at all? Is she interested in boys, or?
No, well, she's not yet in that place of dating, but we did have a conversation the other day where she was talking about what it would be like on a date and kissing a boy. And so she's, in that place of starting to appreciate that. And
how do you feel about that as a mom of somebody that you're probably a little overprotective or wanting to protect?
I am excited. I'm excited to watch Sydney do so many things. And I am protective, and yet over the years, I've changed my perspective quite a bit into a place of wanting to support her and guide her, but allowing her to create the life that she wants. So it's exciting. She has a particular boy who plays the guitar and sings, and every once in a while he comes into her work and they have live music there, so he'll sing to her. And that makes my heart so happy.
Oh, that's fabulous. I just love it. So if people want to find out a little bit more about See Uniqueness, or what would you like people to do to support you? What can they do to support your cause, and where can they find out more information?
Wonderful. So I really would love people to go to our See Uniqueness YouTube page and like our video, share our video, and comment your uniqueness so we can start celebrating you. And we also have a Facebook group that it's a place where we share lots of different ways that you can actively look for uniqueness, begin to celebrate uniqueness within yourself, and have those conversations. And this weekend, on Mother's Day, this Sunday, we are going to be starting a I See You Celebration Sunday. So we're going to be doing live Facebook, where we are going to be talking with people and celebrating who we are and really stepping into the miracle of that.
And what Facebook would that be on?
So that's going to be in our See Uniqueness group.
Okay.
So come in and join our group and, join our conversation. Join the conversation.
I love it. I think that Sydney is a very powerful young woman, and that she's very lucky to have such a fabulous mom who loves her and lets her fly.
Well, I thank you so much for saying that. Being her mom is the reason everything else in my life is as amazing as it is.
And you can see it when you guys are together. So thank you for sharing your story today.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
If you have a burning desire to share your story with our audience, apply to be on our podcast. To apply and find a full list of our podcasts, go to www.womentalk.ca.